Hey everyone. So I tried visiting the shop a day earlier and didn't realize that you had to start lining up here at about 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. where the shop would let you start writing your name down in a list. Then you'd be able to come back at about 11 to 12 for the actual meal. And by the time that I actually left at about 10:15 a.m. or so, there were about 30 people in line. So basically, come early if you want to secure a decent time for your lunch meal. After I wrote my name down, I had about an hour to an hour and a half to kill, so naturally I decided to visit the closest convenience store, 7-Eleven, because that's what you're supposed to do in Japan. Was tempted to buy a bunch of stuff to chow down, but didn't give in to temptation. As you all know, everything in a convenience store in Japan looks appealing. Okay, so I secured an 11:40 a.m. seating, so I'm back here for another lineup. And then I'm entering the store for my meal. Pretty tiny store, I think about 9 seats, but still very comfortable and modern. So pretty cool gimmick. There's this dice looking thing with different labels on each side, showing the status of your customership. I just made the word up. Whether it's your first time or your second time and so on, all these different statuses. Interesting. So the two main dishes on the menu that are most popular are the black and the white TSUKEMEN, or basically dipping noodles in English. The black being the soy sauce version of the broth, and the white being the salt version of the broth. And this thing is just visually stunning. So attractive and appetizing. They instruct you to eat this in a certain order, with the first thing being the scallop carpaccio with condiments. Next, you're supposed to eat the noodles, and these things are just wonderful. Weedy, chewy, aromatic in a perfect way. In this kind of sticky kelp dashi. It's quite sticky, so it may not suit Western tastes. It's kind of like natto in some ways. Then the finely cut memma, or bamboo shoots. These were perfectly fine as well. Then inside the broth are a couple things, chopped onions, basic, and then a couple of scallops, and a couple of wontons, which were a nice touch. Overall, I loved this meal. They flipped the script a bit. Usually with TSUKEMEN it's all about the broth, but here the broth is actually kind of milder in taste, but the toppings were the star of the show. Everything was fantastic, beautiful, and delicious in terms of the toppings.